welcome. We've made it to episode 150 of New Meta Podcast. We have plenty to talk about today, including our worst heroes. So, flame to be handed around to talk about our games, other things. Marco, welcome to pod. How you been doing this week?
Very good, thank you. Find it funny that 150 somehow become a landmark episode. I think we've kind of created a prophecy there.
Well, I mean, 150 it's the most landmark after 100, isn't it? Or I guess 50 is bigger. Or is that just completely arbitrary?
Well, Adam can be the arbiter on this one.
What do you reckon, Adam? You getting the champagne out for 150? The champers?
I don't know. It's big, but it's not 100.
Yeah.
It's not
I think
151.
you celebrate 50, and then you celebrate 100. And then after that, it's every 100. Right?
Yeah. Well, we're halfway to an actual milestone then. Does that make this a milestone?
It's a nice round number.
Decide. Yeah. I mean, episode 100, we celebrated so hard, we actually did a Q&A that went into episode 101 as well. It was like a double episode QA. So
yeah, 100 is cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I take that back. It's just another episode. It's just another casual walk down the podcast avenues, but how's the DotA been? We've got the same patch for another week. I've actually been playing quite a lot. How about you guys, Mark? Have you made it to the keyboard much this past week?
First thing I'd say is it appears that the Magic T is hidden on DotA buff.
Oh yeah,
which is shame. Worth flagging that. No balls. Position 3 player. Not enough versatility to play unhidden matchmaking. I saw you played a Dawnbreaker. I mean, I don't know why you want to hide that from anyone.
Yeah,
surely
Dawnbreaker in ranked. That was. I like got carried away, and I was like imagining seeing myself with like a Dawnbreaker ranked win on my profile, and just feeling like a cool person. I was like, oh yeah, let's fucking go, and lost. That was rough.
That's some good courage.
It's because I've got DotA Plus or whatever it's called, the program, and then I see my name, and then next to it there's a big red Centaur Warrunner, and I'm like, oh crap, can't pick Centaur now, it's going to get banned and stuff, so people are going to be ready. So I was like, oh, quick tick of the match data, and then we're good to go. So to answer your question, yeah, the versatility is not quite good enough for me to be a maskless DotA player.
Yeah, that's sad. Don't see all my friends this week. But I have played a few. I think net negative marginally. I had another gyrocopter that was really fun with you both. The POS 1 hard gyrocopter stats build. Although in that game I accidentally skilled Rocket Barrage in lane, but then it turned out useful, so it was okay. But then yeah, just the meaty stats. Satanic kind of last minute clutch survivals with Chen heals, Winter Wyvern heals. A really sweaty draft for a public matchmaking game. It was basically one of these cheesy Team Nigma strats where you've got some super hard carry and 2 healers behind you. But we got the win, so it was worth it.
Nice.
That was good fun. And then the other notable game to shout out is this PA game. So I slogged it with Nick and James, friends of the pod, and honestly 30 minutes of slog. Games really kind of graphs look equal, but it's hard. We're on the back foot. I'm always like 3 levels behind the enemy's POS 1 Jug because he's got lots of kills and a much better game, and I'm kind of scraping farm, kind of scraping as in the game. 30 minutes. BKB is a good item. That's the takeaway from the game. I thought to myself, oh, they've got a silencer and I'll be cool, and I get Satanic to purge the silence. And then I was like, I'll also get an Aghanims, because that's another purge or another dispel. And Aghanims is kind of a fun item you see on these YouTube videos when, like, I don't know, some pro player just destroys a pub. So I go Satanic and Ags. Turns out they got a shit ton of magical spells and magical damage that really make my life very difficult. E.g. Doc with Maldic damage, and Tiny with Avalanche, Stutter Stunning, and Monkey Stunning, and Silence has actually got 2 silences, that's annoying. And then the pure damage of Glaives, because you can't use Glaives if you're BKB'd. So So yeah, you mitigate so much silencer damage. So anyway, yeah, I forego the BKB and forego the win, basically. I think it would have been a very easy game had I gone BKB. Instead, it was a 30-minute slog, and then game was over at 33, so I was like, fucking tilted. Wasn't that tilted, but...
So you don't... What's the deal with glaives and BKB? You don't...
So you can't throw glaive... Unless, I think it's a 25 talent, perhaps, but you can't throw glaives with wisdom, his W, his orb, if I've got BKB on.
Oh, interesting.
But I think a 25 talent allows you to do that. I'll have
well, his 25 talent's a 30% cooldown reduction or 15% glaives of wisdom damage.
Maybe not. So yeah, so maybe just... Yeah, you can never...
Maybe you just can't.
So that would have mitigated a lot of damage, and it would have, stopped me getting stunned and all this bullshit. So, my fault for not buying BKB, but you know.
BKB, good item. What do you think about that, Adam? Can you believe that Marco wouldn't buy BKB in an unranked game? Seems crazy.
Yeah, I don't know when's the last time he's bought a BKB in an unranked game.
That's a good
or
question,
maybe
actually.
Any game.
Honestly, Adam encouraged me not to buy a BKB on this Gyrocopters game, and
that's because Satanic dispels. So,
yeah, that's what I got.
And it's like, it's giga damage.
Yeah.
And let's be fair, you had Chin and Wyvern behind you. So.
Yeah, no, honestly, Gyro doesn't need BKB because, the Satanic and the Axe proc in it, you are just too much of a raid boss.
And your, what's that other tier 3 neutral?
Paladin sword.
Yeah, the Paladin sword.
Yeah, that's some strong stuff. I love a good Satanic, from 1 HP to full HP in 3 seconds. That's one of the worst feelings. You're trying to kill a Luna or a Gyro and they get off Satanic and it's like, everything you've just done counts for nothing now.
Yeah.
It's so grim.
Oh.
Yeah. How have your games been, Adam? What have you been up to?
Cavern. But all the losses have been like soul crushing. And I played a game last night and the server died on US East. So like the one good game that was happening just like didn't count. And it was so sad.
Yikes.
You go to like Dota Reddit, everyone's like, what happened to the game? Did anyone else crash? All that stuff. It's like, I was in a ranked game when this happened. I was not in a ranked game, but I was doing Cavern, playing Crystal Maiden. I had a 12-minute Tranquil Blink dagger from 5. And it was like, this is the dream game. And a storm balls in on your carry, and you just blink, root, and ult, and he just dies. And you're like, yes, this is going to be fun. And then the game died, and I was like, no, I am sad.
Yikes.
How
far through Cavern are you? You nearly done,
not very
or are you
far.
like halfway?
Just like halfway, yeah. Halfway. Yeah. Trying to get those free levels. Some of the games have been fun. Like, I probably hadn't played Earthshaker in over a year. That was a fun one. It's like, Blink Echo is satisfying to complete. And 2-0 on Chin now. So, like, apparently Chin is fun. It's fun if you have a Gyro in your team. It is sad, though, to be a Chin with Guardian Greaves, Holy Locket, your heal passive, and then Hand of God healing for like 13k in a game, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty good healing numbers, and then your Winter Wyvern casually has 21k heal off of one spell, and you're like,
yeah,
what is the point of my hero again? Like,
yeah.
I mean, yes, I can do it globally, but it's like not even close to comparable the amount of healing. But if you do add that together, it's like 33,000 healing is more than, I don't know, if I look at the game, it's probably more than a couple of their heroes did in damage. Yeah. Yeah, we have more healing than everyone on their team except Timbersaw. So we out healed for their damage. That's pretty...
Yeah, you were healing a lot of timber damage, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Wyvern heal numbers are actually redonkulous. I mean, they've been flying around for a while now, but you have a half-decent game on Wyvern, it's like, yep, 25k heal. Like, that's normal, with a Winter's Curse on top as well. But yeah, we don't need to go into Wyvern here. It's kind of crazy.
It's funny you played a Naga support as well, which is fun.
Classic.
Yeah, just...
With did you get a meme ammo?
No, I went Greaves. Greaves, Glimmer, Ags. And it's fun to, like, song, and then you can ensnare while things are songed, so it's, like, really good against Storm or PA or something.
Yeah.
Because you just lock them down. And it goes through BKB as well, once you get the Ags. But a lot of my games, since they're, like, Cavern Heroes and unranked, these death numbers are just... over the top.
I saw that you had an axe one with 19 deaths. I thought that's not acceptable.
That was a 5 axe.
Yeah,
yes.
It must have been, but it's a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
That's a lot of deaths.
We got 19, 13, 12, 14, 10, 19 on a Leshrac. Or no, that's a Spirit Breaker. 11, 13, 14. Like, that's all this week. It's just a lot of dying.
That death time is almost on par with my dieback timers. It's not fun being dead for that long.
It's not fun. But it's like, I pick 5 axe, I'm like, yeah, let's go manly, and then this is in a 5 stack, and the carry's hovering over Nature's Prophet. I'm like, that's not manly. And then picked Luna, which is like, okay, they can maybe have something happen, and then they just like left the lane. Like, now I'm just stuck on this hero that can't, like, be manly alone from a 5.
Yeah. My games, I actually played a bunch, hidden obviously from Marco and Adam because of my public matchmaking data. But after talking about how Centaur could ever lose a game last pod and having a great win rate, of course, that turns into I think 3 loss streak? Oh no, this looks like just 2 loss streak. Okay. So I lost 2 on Centaur, then won my most recent one. These are all ranked games. Played an Underlord in ranked and lost, which is always a painful one. And then obviously got a bit carried away and picked up Dawnbreaker in ranked and lost, which was unfortunate. Although I felt like I was really kind of carrying, or it felt good. So I'm not against picking it in future.
How many deaths did you have?
I had 2 deaths in the whole game.
That's good.
I was 4-2 and 8 with decent net worth. I had an anti-mage that had 5 deaths, which is just already too many for an AM. God, this AM was so rough. You know when you're fighting all game for like an AM to carry you, hopefully, and it's like 30 minutes into the game, AM's been farming, and then like his very first involvement, he just dies to like it instantly, and it's like, oh god. Or when you've just had a fight and it's like a trade and you're thinking, this isn't so bad because our AM's just farming while this 3v3 takes happen, and like the one thing that can't happen is anti-mage dies, and then he just like feeds randomly to nothing, to just a Night Stalker on top of him. And it's like, oh, for God's sake. But we were against a level 30 techies in this game, and playing against a good techies is just so grim. It's such a grim experience, because I feel like I'm better than most now at playing against techies. Maybe that's just, I'm quite a cautious player, probably, in general, and focus on things that we can't do rather than things we can do, maybe. So I'm always like, don't chase, and then I watch 3 of my heroes run into, like, chasing like a half HP techies, like, oh, easy kill in theory, but the techies runs away a little bit, and I'm just like, don't walk up that high ground because you're gonna explode. And then I just see 3 of my heroes like tunnel vision trying to kill a techies, and then just all explode. Oh, God's sake, no. That was a rough game. I really like Dawnbreaker in lane is so strong. So, for example, I was laning against a Juggernaut Lion, and every time, if Lion used spiked, what is it? His spell? His Q? Earthspike.
Impale. Oh, wait,
Impale, yeah.
No, Earthspike, yeah.
Yeah. So the second he uses Earthspike, I'm like, oh, it instantly go on Lion and he just dies. So it does make the game really hard to play for enemy supports if they're squishy. And it's like, oh, for God's sake, no. That was a rough game. I really like Dawnbreaker in lane is so strong. So, for example, I was laning against a Juggernaut Lion, and every time, if Lion used spiked, what is it? His spell? His Q? Earthspike.
Impale. Oh, wait,
So the second he uses Earthspike, I'm like, oh, it instantly go online and he just dies. So it does make the game really hard to play for enemy supports if they're squishy. because with your whatever it's called, what's it called, Celestial Hammer or something into Starbreaker, that combo is completely deadly, very very deadly combo. So that was quite a fun game. I think the build on Dawnbreaker is an interesting one. I went phase Solar Crest Halberd in this game, and I'm not sure about the Solar Crest in hindsight. That was based off like what high MR people were picking and what the guide said, and I thought, I'll give it to AM later on, and that'll be really powerful, but I actually think that rushing a Halberd would have been fine, or some sort of Echo Saber Blink might have been okay as well, or just honestly BKB first item maybe. These are a lot of options, but Solar Crest is somewhat difficult to make work when you've got an AFK anti-mage. You don't really have anyone to use it on, I suppose, apart from the people you're going on, but anyway. And then I had a Sanking game, my most recent game, which was very good fun. Love to play Sanking against Tinker. Me and Adam had a game where I played offlane OD. That was the ultimate save game. Do you remember that one, Adam? That was a good game.
Yeah, that one was so fun.
That was very fun, yeah. Aghanim's,
OD with Ags, and then Snapfire with Cookie plus what's that, Gobble Up. I had a Blink too, so like Blink, Gobble Up.
Yeah.
Wind Ranger would try and go on somebody, and like there'd be two Astrals or a Gobble Up toss away, or like it was just so fun.
Yeah, we had an AM in that game, and they'd go on AM, he'd be about to die, Astral, comes out of Astral again, and then they're like, oh crap, we've got to kill this OD, go on me, get gobbled up and thrown away, and by that point AM's back, and it's just like, having multiple saves is just so fun. It's like, it just sucks the enemies just can't play. I did have one funny one where I had a Ricky mid, I think this is for one of my Centaur wins, and he was against a TA, and it's one of those beautiful moments in Dota when someone is like molding on all chat, and they say something so ridiculous and outrageous that like the entire rest of the 9 players are like, no, that's just stupid, what are you talking about? Even his own team. So he was complaining, typing Ricky, like, what a broken hero, your hero's so dumb, and then people on our team almost unanimously typed at the same time, says TA player, like the most broken hero at the moment. And then he was like, shut the F up. And then someone on his own team was like, to be fair, you are playing TA. Like, this is all in all chat. It was just so funny. And then he was like, muted in all chat, which makes it sound like he was muted everyone, including his own team. Maybe he had. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to report other than that. Centaur still going strong. Marco, what do you reckon? Are we getting a patch? Are we waiting until another month or something? We kind of talk about this every week, but
we do, because everyone's just kind of craving. And not that it needs to change, but just the anticipation that surely TI is literally beyond 2 months away. Like, surely we've had the same patch all of 2021. Surely it's going to be a change. So yeah, it'd be nice if that happened. Our reflections on the patch is, I was thinking about this just before, the POS 5 heroes that you can go dig up the evidence, I've always wanted to see in the game. AA and Wyvern. And this is actually AA, yeah, you might say, well, when have I liked AA? But I've always had that soft spot. And then Wyvern, obviously, always been a big fan of. And so it's actually been pretty cool that this patch, they've been S tier supports. And it's kind of a shame that it's not aligned with active ranked playing or something, because there was a time back in Liverpool, say, obviously the Mars phase, but the POS 5 phase was also what helped me climb. Wyvern was a solid hero choice in those days, so yeah, that's quite a while ago. But I'm just like, yeah, on reflection, it's been pretty cool to see those two heroes doing so well. I mean, shed a tear.
Speaking of POS 5 heroes, shout out to Yeezy for 1,290 Vengeful Spirit games. We talked about spamming heroes. Popped up in the Discord to show us his cabinet of stats and
so
Vengeful
funny.
Games.
How it appears, good to see Yeezy joins the channel, and then its first message, I'm a degenerate, second message is a screenshot of 99% Vengeful games.
Yeah, so that's pretty strong. Some good stuff. Some good spammers coming out of the woodwork in the Discord. That's good to see. Always like that. Let's have a little bit of fun though. So, heroes that we're terrible at. And this was Marco's idea, presumably because you want to laugh at my TA again. I don't know.
No.
But this is heroes that we have the worst win rate on, with 10 plus games played, and then maybe we'll also do 30 plus games played. I have one that is so bad I'm actually embarrassed about it. But are you surprised with your own ones? Have you found them? Have you looked them up?
Yeah. So,
what I expected.
to be honest, 2 of them I'm not surprised. 1 of them I'm a little surprised. Okay. And then there's one that's kind of one embarrassing one which actually hits the 30 plus games mark.
Okay.
Which is pretty funny.
The 30 games one is interesting. My 30 games ones are kind of fine. There's none that I'm embarrassed about. They're all okay. But some of my 10 plus games ones are appalling. And one of them is 24 games. Like my lowest 10 plus is 24 games, which is like quite a few games to be fair. And I've got one that's just shy of 30 games that doesn't qualify, which is quite funny. I don't know. I don't really want to start. Do you want to start, Adam? Because you're the most. Well, I don't know. I was going to say you're the most. I feel like your worst hero is with 10. I feel like you're going to be quite hard to. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be quite hard to guess.
What position? Do you reckon?
Well, so I've won on every hero except for Void Spirit, so that one doesn't meet the quantity. Just 3 games played. But my worst with 10 plus is 11 matches, 27% win rate, so that's 2 and 9. I reckon you would call it a carry or a mid.
Morphling.
Did you say you played 10 plus games on every hero apart from Void Spirit?
No, I've won on every hero.
Oh, you've won a game on every hero. Okay.
Except for Void Spirit.
I have no idea. I don't know. Is it a mid?
I mean, I probably have played 10 plus games on every hero except for Dawnbreaker and Void Spirit, it looks like. But,
is it Ember or something?
I mean, he's in the worst 10, but not in not the worst. I was actually surprised that this was my worst. I rate it higher than 2 and 9.
Yeah, that's all right. All 3 of my bottom ones are ones that I rate a lot higher than the bottom 3, so won't worry too much. Who is it?
It's Arc Warden.
I think that's reasonable. Arc Warden's like kind of a bit specialist.
Yeah, all I really need to do is win 1 game on it, and it would like jump up a gigaton of percent in front of the one that I really think is my worst, which is Invoker at 28.5% on 21 games.
Oh yeah, Invoker.
Nice, 21 games.
That hero should be removed.
Marco's an Invoker spammer, aren't you, Marco? Don't you have like weirdly lot of games on Invoker?
Yeah, I got 60, which is probably
that's a lot of games.
Top 20, boasting a net positive win-loss, 51%. So
nice.
I am miracle. You know what I mean? And that was actually off the back of. Let me just check my games history. I feel like my first kind of 10-20 games, I played them. It probably wasn't ranked. But there was a time when I kind of played newer heroes on my first account. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. Because I remember playing these Invoker games completely out my depth. Do you know what I mean? Just in kind of normal matchmaking and just being so dog. But I've scrapped a 50% plus win rate.
Nice. Go on then, you're going to round out your bottom 3, Adam.
What's funny is that the last time I played Invoker was 2018. It's been over 3 years ago. I've stayed so far away from that hero. What do you think? So, are we going with 30 plus games? Because let me give you a little smorgasbord of fail. Because which of these is worse? I've played 50 matches on Bane. and have a 36% win rate. I mean, like, that's appalling.
That's
rough.
Oh,
but it's a support, so you got to blame your team.
Yeah.
They couldn't carry with my godlike nightmares.
Hmm.
Then right next to it, 40 matches on Broodmother, 37 and a half, so 3 out of 8
Hmm.
on average win rate on Brood. I mean, that's pretty bad too. But I honestly, if we just scroll down a little bit, 81 matches on Lena, 39.5% win rate.
No, not my Lena.
You have to know when to stop. Like, that's obviously should not
Stop
touch the
hurting
hero.
yourself. Yeah. Damn, I've got 333 games on Lena. It's a lot of Lena games right there.
That is a lot of Lena games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know which is worse. Lena, I have 3.5% more win rate than Bane, but I've played it 31 more times, so it's like extra tank on the overall win rate.
Yeah. I don't know. Bane's pretty crazy. That's a pretty poor win rate for Bane, especially for you. Although mine's even worse, if that makes you feel better. I've got a 14% win rate on Bane.
Yeah, but you probably only played 7 games.
I played exactly 7 games. Yeah, I'm 1
Yeah.
and 6. So yeah. But yeah. I mean, could be worse. I'm sure some people will pop up on Discord with even worse. I'm sure there'll be some like 0-15s out there in the world, stuff like that.
You just play against Alina, right? And they have 1,000,000 range, and they never take any damage, and they 100 to 0 you. And then you play against 4 Linas that have boots and null talismans with no regen, and they're just untouchable. And then with me, it's like I get sneezed on and I explode, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, I get that. My version of that hero is Tiny, which interestingly just misses out on my worst heroes with 10 plus games. I've got 24 games of Tiny, and I've got a 33% win rate, so I'm 8 and 16. And Tiny's my version of that, where I watch someone play Tiny, pos 4, at TI or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, this hero's, the impact's unbelievable, the blow-up potential on a support, unparalleled. And then I play it, and I'm like, can't get anything done, working towards a blink for like 25 minutes, and then just don't blow anyone up, and I'm like so useless. I basically just have a blink stun. So Tiny is up there. My bottom 3 heroes are all mids, which is unfortunate, but
nice for the mid player.
Yeah, this is with 10 plus games played. My bottom 3 are mids. The one at the bottom is absolutely appalling, and it hurts because
is it Tinker?
No, Tinker's third. That Tinker does hurt as well. So 9 and 20 on Tinker.
Yeah,
which is with 29
well, we gotta
games
know.
played.
So you gotta guess, right? Because I always say, don't grief me with Stan Pugna, Stan PA, or Stan TA, or Stan Tinker. So if those are all 3, I'm vindicated. But it's probably not.
My Pugna win rate is class, and my TA win rate has made huge recoveries. It's not even laughable anymore, my TA win rate. It's actually strong now. But these 2 heroes are lesser spotted heroes. One I've played 13 games on, and one I've played 24 games on. I think the worst one I have, I can give you... So, first of all, the win rate. Woo! So, 24 games played, 5 and 19 for a 20% win rate. So, very poor. Yeah. But this is a hero that I feel like the first 15 minutes of the game is world class. I'm getting like rampages for days. And then the post 15 minutes, insta loss, 0 impact, feel like a creep.
Was this your Void Spirit?
Oh, no. I can't believe you diss my Void Spirit like that. No, this isn't my Void Spirit.
Zeus?
No, it's a hero
I'm trying to think who would get a rampage in the first 15 minutes.
It's a hero... Well, it's a hero that Marco's disgraced on as well. Marco's got poor history of this hero.
What? Alright,
Yeah.
is it Shadow Fiend?
Yeah, it's SF.
I know it's Shadow Fiend because I do remember the game where Stan got a rampage in like 10 minutes, and then we lost in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Get off my SF is 50% win rate. 45 wins, 46 losses.
Yeah.
Scraping.
Yeah, well, I'm just remembering LAN performances are all that matter.
Well, my
I'm just
1v1
thinking
mid.
your 1v1 mid or wherever it was.
Fucking choked in Poland.
Losing. That was tough. I've got a 100% LAN win rate, by the way.
On SF?
100% LAN.
No, not on SF, just in general.
Oh, the 2v2?
The 2v2, yeah. The Wind Ranger Tusk 2v2 at ESL Katowice or whatever it was. Yeah, that's strong. But the third hero, I don't think you'll guess this, but I've only played 13 games, 4 and 9. I'm just going to say it's Huskar, so a bit of a cheeser that haven't managed to work too well. And then Tiny and stuff like that. And then my 30 plus games, it's actually a POS 5 with 32 games.
I'm surprised you have 30 games on a POS 5.
Yeah, there's not many of them, but this is an old school hero that I used to play when I first started. It's probably my first POS 5 that I actually got some games with. No, it's not Lion, actually.
No. Rubik.
No, it's not Rubik. This is before I knew what Rubik even did, I think. I played a bunch. Most of these games are from, like, way back.
Is it Lich?
No, although Lich is next to him. I don't have 30 games on Lich, only 20 games on Lich.
Who did you play POS 5?
Him. A male support.
Yeah.
POS 5?
We actually have a friend of the pod that spams this hero.
Which
Speaking of hero spammers. No. Not like someone we play with sometimes spams this hero a lot. Friend of the pod. The Blackhawk special.
Oh, the Dazzle.
The Dazzle, yeah. Yeah, 11 and 21 on the Daz.
Oh,
so,
that's rough.
Yeah, you're on both sides of the Husker Dazzle. Don't give you either.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my fails out of the way. Marco, what are you looking at on the stats saying?
So the bottom three are all 10 plus games, but less than 30. But then the first greater than 30 is a little disgraceful, but kind of funny. So the first three, which is greater than 10 games, less than 30 games. The first one is a Monka S. It's an enjoyable hero. You could probably guess it. So it's a hero that I want to be good at because there's a pro player that does this hero so well from the mid or from the 4. And therefore I try and replicate it. No, I've actually only played one Earth Spirit game. So I played 11 of this hero, but you're on the right track.
There's a pro that plays it mid or 4.
Adam was very close with this.
Dark Willow?
No, I don't play Dark Willow.
I got a name Crit.
It's like who does Crit play? Carries pubs, plays it mid, somewhat unconventionally.
Clinks.
And then I want to do it as well. Nah, not Clinks. I mentioned it recently.
Pango?
Fucking Pango.
Oh, it's Pango.
Yeah. You won a game the other day. God, the win rate would be even worse if you didn't.
I don't think I won that game.
Oh, did we not win that one?
No, we didn't win.
Yeah,
oh, no.
So I'm a solid 2-9.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to win games. Oh, wait, maybe I'm 3-8 actually. I want to win games with Pango. And you watch Crit on stream just destroy. And it's kind of a fun-ish hero, but then obviously I'm dog shit. So that's the worst.
Yeah.
Second worst is whatever. Bat Rider with 10 games, 3-7. It's like
whatever, it's Bat Rider.
Whatever, it's not that many games. Bat Rider, bit of a nerdy hero. Not played it in 5 years. Put it in the dumpster. And then 12 games. This one's disappointing. POS 5 hero, which I've definitely raved about. I've definitely mentioned having sick. I think I can still remember it. There was a sick ranked game I had with this hero.
It's not Oracle, is it?
It's fucking Oracle, yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, 3-9, and I'm like, I would highly rate this hero. It's got such a good kit. Why my win rate so low with it? Maybe I didn't read the spells. I don't know. I'm sure I did. But I would expect to have done a bit better with Oracle. So yeah.
Spells too hard.
Spells too hard. 0 versatility. But then I guess the worst on this kind of low win rate heroes, going into the 30 plus category, 31 games. It's a hero that me and Stan love to throw out there when we talk about a support played unconventionally from the carry or from the off lane. It's usually a POS 4 ganker, but give it the farm, give it the punches. and it can be a great high impact hero. And it's a hero that, you know, I love to just roll in with the aggression and...
Oh, is it Earthshaker?
Tusk.
It's Tusk.
Tusk.
Tusky Dusk.
So, unsurprisingly, with my kind of Rambo gameplay on a hero that I can't play, in a position I can't play, 31 games, 36% win rate, so... That's like...
Yikes.
Yeah, 11 wins, 20 losses, perhaps. Oh, wait, is that right? I think so.
Man, so I might not have had the lowest win rate, but I definitely had the most games played on my hero. Like, I have stuck with them longer.
Yeah.
To get into, like, that have 50, 40, and, like, 80 games played on sub 40% win rate heroes is kind of yikes.
Yeah. I don't think none of my massively played heroes come too close to the terrible win rates. I've got to go quite far down before I get... I mean, TA is the first one that pops up, which now is at a respectable 45% win rate. I think
that's
it
what I was
used to
going to
be...
guess. I was just saying, when you were like, it's surging, I'm so respectful when I was like, yeah, at 45 maybe, and you're like, yes.
Yeah. I feel like it used to be 37 or something back when I first started playing TA. It was pretty appalling. But yeah, 166 games. That's a lot of games.
Well,
you have to get on a streak to raise it that high with that many games. So you're probably, telling the truth that you're surging.
It was my highest win rate hero over the last 12 months. Last time we did these stats at the end of the year. So yeah, but when I first started playing it, it was absolutely awful, obviously. So, continuing in our sort of meta overview discussion, having just done those stats, heroes we want to see come back into the metagame, and what would it need for that to happen? I don't know if we want to start with a specific position, but any heroes that you're dying to see back in the meta?
Is it wrong of me to say Anti-Mage and Ricky?
I
don't think they've ever had a place in the meta, to be honest.
Has there never been like an AM patch where AM's like a top 3 carry? Or not really?
I feel like the closest we got to that was the Burning AM legendary Chinese super carry TI 3 era, where nobody else in the world would bother playing AM at pro level apart from this one Chinese player. Maybe that's the best we've ever got for AM.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind
Ricky
seeing...
just had that cheese strat.
Ricky had a cheesy time in the meta, which I'm not as into the cheese. I mean, I've got morals, credentials. I don't do cheese.
I mean, it's hard to have a patch ever be a Ricky patch, unless it's the support Ricky. Because
I love the
invisibility just gets taken care of at pro level too easily.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It's interesting. Ricky, it was for a while like pretty good, wasn't it? The Battle Fury build, that was like strong. People were loving that, weren't they? A while back, like a year ago?
Yeah, and the Ags or whatever.
The Ags was good, yeah, and if they have screwed that, so that's not a thing anymore.
I would love to see Ricky Pos 4 come back. I remember IG, like Baboka, used to love a Pos 4 Ricky. That you never see that anymore. To the point where I don't even understand how that was ever a thing. What did it even offer back in the day that made it viable as a 4? I have no idea. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to see Ricky back. AM, I'm not as bothered about seeing AM because when we talk about back in the meta, we're inevitably talking about pro games and stuff like that. Or we don't have to be, but say we are talking about pro games. I'm not that bothered by seeing an anti-mage win because it's just, you farm for long enough while getting involved with some like drive-by mana void kills and then suddenly you just take over and it's like not a contest anymore.
I'm sure the AM win rate has to be shit as well in the pro scene. Well, obviously it will be because we never see it, but whenever you do see it, it feels like so bad. And it feels like for it to not be that bad, it'll have to fundamentally change somehow in terms of it's not just this glass cannon that needs 20 minutes to get marginally online. Having said that, the talent changes, I feel did move towards this kind of more aggressive, stronger, earlier game hero with, I mean, it's still level 15 talent, how you've got the max mana burn damage, so level 15 is still pretty far into a game. So it feels like you need quite the revolution. Because Anti-Mage is a hero that's had the same playstyle, the same item build. You couldn't name a more monotonous item build of any hero, I swear. Apart from anyone that's just like a Blink Dagger. Yeah. Any kind of core, no one's had such monotony. So I feel like you need quite the revolution.
I certainly remember pro games of Anti-Mage not going well. I remember RTZ played one at last TI and they lost, and then Tundra tried to play one in the final against OG in the qualifiers recently. That's the most recent one I remember, and it just didn't work. It. Yeah.
A cool one random YouTube video seeing RTZ Anti-Mage in a pub, and he did a Echo Saber Vlad's, I don't know if he had Vlad's, but it's Echo Saber, Sanjin Yasha, Halberd, really meaty build. It was against the PA, so the idea was that typically AM's a bad matchup because the PA could 2-hit you, but you went this really strength heavy and just kind of blink into fights, man fighter anti-mage, rather than kind of the ninja manta slice and dice, and that was cool. So if an Echo Saber anti-mage fighter could be a thing, that would be cool. But again, it's like with a lot of heroes, it feels like the USP, if that hero was somehow broken, or not, sorry, if that hero was somehow in the meta, it would have to be too broken. Because like Adam says with the Invis heroes, it feels like they're always going to be coped with in the pro scene, like as a mechanic. Blink heroes as a mechanic. It's
Wait,
like,
didn't EG pick AM in the final of Animajor? And lost.
There was a final in ESL Birmingham against Team Secret, Game 5. I think he played Anti-Mage then, and they had a Naga on Secret, maybe. Or I might be thinking of against OG in one of the previous TIs. He definitely played Anti-Mage in a losing game against OG.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times, it sounds like, to no avail.
They did not.
Yeah.
I checked.
I think RTZAM is not one. The only player that I feel like wins games on AM in pros is like Miracle once in a while, just like busts out an AM win.
Like from the mid lane as well.
Yeah.
Anti-Mage is actually 3-0 at the Animajor. So
there you go. It's in the meta.
That sounds interesting. What were those games out of interest?
I don't know. It's just I looked at the stats. I don't know.
Here's a hero that you guys are probably going to absolutely hate more than Anti-Mage being in the meta, but a hero I'd love to see back in the meta a bit is a bit of Tinker action in the pro game, pro scene.
Why would you suggest?
I'd love, because
snooze fest.
Tinker's fun to watch, I think, but to play it's kind of boring.
True. I don't mind watching it, but
once every year, and then you're like, this is boring.
Hate to play against it. But I do think it's quite fun to watch. I think it's because it's such a unique hero. I quite like it for that. It's like I don't mind seeing a Huskar or a Visage because it's interesting to see pro teams deal with it and stuff like that. I just think it'd be cool to watch a Tinker, but again, the Tinker gimmick, you just feel like it's hard to imagine what would have to happen for it to come back in, other than just buffing numbers. It's either like OP or it's trash. You know what I mean? It's another one like that, I think, because realistically, the hero. You talked about AM having the most monotonous build ever. I mean, Tinker has the most monotonous gameplay ever. Of just, you get Travel's Blink, and then you rearm and use spells and rearm and like blink around and do wacky stuff. There's no... And you die the same way by getting jumped on when you're not expecting it. So, teams are quite good at conditioning Tinker kills.
I think an interesting point about balance, and when we talk about these heroes being in or out of the meta, or stronger or weak, is the heroes we've just mentioned, they're very individualistic. They don't have any synergy, and it feels like a lot of meta heroes are in the meta and are popular and do well because they have some sort of synergy, offensively or defensively. Like I'm thinking about the heal strats or kind of spell combos, or like interactive mechanics, whereas someone like an anti-mage or a tinker, it feels kind of raw numbers. They've got no synergy with anyone. They're just an individual hero. And maybe that's the case for a lot of carries.
But some carries give you something like, they give you Roche, or they give you Tower Push, or they give you AoE damage versus single target. And Tinker only really fits into the sense that, he gives you burst. Do you know what I mean? He's a ranged hero that gives burst, like a ranged magic damage nuker. Yeah, a good D-push as well.
Yeah, D-push.
He's a weird hero, because it's interesting. A Tinker's blink timing, I've heard, I don't know how to verify this, but I've heard some pros say on panels that the timing at which Tinker gets Travel's Boots is the most indicative of the win rate of that hero than any other item timing, like of any hero in the game. It's like the most critical timing ever. So that makes me feel like some pro teams could run some Tinker where they just stack and get some crazy timing, but I don't know. The hero's just, because it's got no escape as well, you can just see teams running a Tinker and just getting their jungle invaded, and it's like, what are you going to do about it? Like, march and run away? Or it's like, I guess there are a lot of heroes like that, but even someone like DotA that has no escapes and really slow and stuff like that, it's like, you have Stone Gaze and you're way tankier, and so it's easier to get online a bit. Tinker I could see struggling.
Yeah, it's interesting to contrast that DotA versus Tinker, because the farm is very, it's pure jungle, stacks, very similar. But teams would still happily run a DotA. I guess they think it's a better later game carry, more reliable perhaps.
Easier to synergize around as well, like you said. It's easier to group and build a draft around a Medusa, whereas building a Tinker draft...
Frontline DotA, yeah.
Yeah, like what do you even do with a Tinker draft? You just build aggressive heroes early that can defend stacks and that are and maybe are quite tanky, so Tinker can be safe. It's like, yeah, there's like nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to stop your Tinker getting like hookshotted on or stop him getting haunted on. But with a DotA, there's lots of things you can do to stop, whatever, an AM or some diffusal blade hero jumping and going on the DotA,
Everybody's got rearm blink. You just need to help a little
staff
bit.
him away. Yeah. Maybe I'm just talking out of my talking some hot air.
I don't think they're the same hero at all. Like,
yeah,
I would much rather have a Medusa on my team. That's way more easy to execute.
Yeah.
It is completely a solo hero.
Yeah.
Any other sort of carries or mids before we start looking at other positions that you'd like to see back?
Yeah, Chaos Knight has never had a patch.
Pos 1 CK.
Except for
doing it.
TI3 final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And IO stunned with tether. Like,
far strong.
That, I guess you can do that now with the Ag Shard, but Chaos Knight never really had his moment in the sun from a carry standpoint. I guess now you can do Ag's illusion spam nonsense. He is pretty good from offlane.
He's got a good win rate in pubs. It is 2/3 safe lane, 1/3 off lane. But across all the different brackets, 52, 53%, 54%. I feel like it's a hero that's always done well in the pub scene. It's just never materialized at pro scene.
Yeah.
And it has changed bits here and there, like with the passive Chaos Strike, and I mean, it's now Chance. But
it's back to
it used
Chance.
It used to be
every
right?
4 seconds.
Yeah,
Then it made him a strong laner because he just would always... You could always heal.
Yeah.
And crit on something.
Yeah, you just wait and hit every 3 seconds and just heal constantly.
Yeah. It's a funny one. Like, you see Gork smash out pubs with CK fairly often. It's like, it does happen, doesn't it? It's just, I can't remember one time seeing it in a pro game. Never once. And we've seen hundreds of pro games. I feel like I've never...
There is one famous pro game with CK recently, and that was the TI game where Miracle played it. I don't know if you remember that. Liquid
What, they
versus
made
EG.
TV illusions? Phantasm the TV? Or...
Oh, that was very cool, actually. That was a Chinese team, wasn't it? FY played some support CK and just made like a trillion TVs. That was kind of gimmicky. But Miracle played at TI with IO. They ran an IO CK strat against EG, and the game went like 70 minutes, and then they eventually lost, but CK was like crushing.
Oh, that rings a bell. Going dead late.
Yeah, going really late, and they caught CK. They like caught out IO and CK to win, basically, with some crazy 5-man smoke. But that was a CK loss. So, yeah, I agree with the CK shout. You only saw it a bit off lane when he had the different passive where you could guarantee lifesteal. That's the only time you actually saw it for a bit. Another carry that I haven't seen at all since they removed Necrobook is Lycan. And I would like to see Lycan in the meta, especially without Necrobook.
I was going to say Lycan as well, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's cool now because there's no Necrobook, so you just go like Armlet Deso or something like that and just fly in as a wolf. I'd love to see a bit of Lycan action. It's a new hero, it's not the same hero as before. New reactions.
Yeah, and you got Wolf Bite.
Yeah.
You got the Ags, you got... Yeah, I'm curious to see what that hero does without Necrobook, if you still go Helm. I think, was it T1 that played it and went like Echo Saber? And you can like crit really hard in your ult form. But then they lost to EG.
Lycan's an interesting.
These pick and win rates on Lycan. Sub 1% pick rate across all brackets. Sub 50% everywhere. 45 at Archon and Legend. I swear this hero used to be kind of...
So it used to be 60%.
Yeah, 60%.
Yeah, high pick, high win rate. This 118th popularity. Holy moly, people have really turned away.
Well, they got rid of Necro, though. He was like the whole hero.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, the whole point was like, my passive works on all my units, so I'll just make 5 units, and now your 2 strongest units don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Any offlaners or 3s or offlaners or 4s or 5s that we'd like to see back in the meta? I mean, evidently not
5s, yeah. I want to see some Crystal Maiden Lich.
Lich, that would be a fun
in the
one.
off lane?
No,
5. Like, when's the last time those heroes have been snagged? Give me some ice heroes that aren't AA. Like, I'm tired of that. Just gets to be the best hero at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of Wyvern, too. Give me the OG ice heroes, please.
Yeah. I think Lich would be fun to see. Sacrifice was such a unique selling point of Lich that you could get basically free range creep denies off your POS 5. It always had a place in the meta because of that. And now they've taken that out. I feel like it's been struggling for relevance ever since.
Spells are good in a vacuum. Like the Gaze and the Shield.
Yeah.
I feel like there's potential there. It's just like, why even try and make something like that work when you have AA? That just turns off heal and gives vision.
There's a million
and
damage
slow and damage and like magic resist de-amp and a million range harass in lane.
I wouldn't mind Doc as a 5 going back. I think Doc's cool and fun.
Yeah, Doc's sort of on the fringes, isn't he? He's there or thereabouts sometimes, but certainly not what you describe as a meta pick.
I think he had a little time in the sun with the Maledict being good at one point, or there was a lot of heavy strength 3s, and Doc was... I don't know, I feel like Maledict used to be really strong, and it was like the 5 pick because of this, but you wouldn't really see it now.
Timbersaw's always shaking their boots when they're up against a Witch Doctor.
I think it'd be cool to see Bane come back. I feel like Bane's been nowhere for so long. And Nightmare's got quite a lot of potential as a save, which is fun. Obviously, Fiend Script, I think, is just a cool-looking spell. Traditionally, it was sort of a very strong laner that you couldn't trade with. And so I don't know where that's gone. Is that still the case? Perhaps. I feel like I haven't seen Bane in so long. I don't even know what the hero does well anymore because I just don't even see it.
It's funny that. Any off-laners that you're missing?
I don't know. I feel like off-lane's an interesting role at the moment. There are definitely some heroes that are better than others. Some S-tier kind of heroes that you might see first phase, like a Timbersaw or a Tide Hunter or something, but on the whole,
pretty strong.
Yeah,
Slardar doesn't get picked a lot.
It's true. Slardar's pretty cool.
That one's that's a pub menace.
Yeah,
that does not get any love in pro.
I like Omni Knight as well as a 3.
I think it'd be cool if someone like Omni could work, because it definitely could work at some points. I remember Pasha used to play loads of Omni.
It worked at the last TI. It was big at the last TI. Yeah, you just Heavenly Grace people and then they just run in and dive. That was like a OG. Do you remember in True Sight when Kuroki tells MC to play Omni, like Seb? And he's like, just crushes him.
Well, and then Tops and Gyro goes Diffusal and no one has any mana, and then their two heroes are trash. Bristleback and Omni Knight without mana.
So yeah,
Omni's cool. I mean, is it griefy to say bring Pudge back to the meta? I know he's obviously...
I'd love to see Pudge back. That'd be so sick.
Completely spearheading the pub meta, but obviously the pros don't think so.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Imagine watching TI with a Pudge in it. Just the hooks, the hype on hooks would be insane. That'd be so cool. There are definitely some heroes I don't want to see come back. I don't want to see Death Prophet come back, really, because there was a time when DP was just destroying metas from like POS 1, 2 or 3. It's just like, oh god, get out of my life. And then, to be honest, I would have said Void a while ago, but now we're in the sort of Terrorblade Luna Medusa meta. I don't mind Void back at all, because I'm so sick of just seeing TB every game. So
Void's exciting for the Chrono plays.
Yeah, I think so.
It's got you're forced to fight because the hero is good because of Chronos. You can't be AFK entirely. Whereas some of there's a lot of snoozy POS 1 heroes these days. It feels that mince the map for 25 minutes and then show up, which is less interesting.
What do you guys think of cheese heroes in general in the meta? Because obviously heroes like Meepo, Huskar, Brood's kind of an exception because we'll come back to Brood because Brood is strong and Brood is in the meta, but for a long time it wasn't until they
that's off lane
made this rework. Yeah, and it's off lane, so it's kind of. I mean, do you think Brood
I always
is
think
cheese?
Of cheese as mid? Like it's just like this uncounterable mid pick. Meepo, Huskar.
With all the XP and all the gold.
Yeah, because 1v1 as well, so less you can
Brood getting first phased isn't cheese. Like, it's just a strong hero.
Yeah, and also they changed the way it works anyway now. So it's before level 6, it's definitely not cheese at all, and then 6, it's a little bit gimmicky, but it's not cheese. Like you say, it's first picked, it's just strong. But the Meepos and the Huskars of the world, and to an extent the Tinkers as well, I feel like Valve's gone down the route of making them less cheesy or nerfing them, and you just don't see them anymore. Whereas I feel like back in the day, it very much used to be, they haven't accounted for Meepo in this draft, it was going to be picked, or, they haven't accounted for Huskar in this draft, I wonder if we'll see Huskar, or they haven't accounted for Brood in its last phase, and this is back when Brood was cheesy mid. I wonder if they'll get brooded. Whereas it just doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. And do you think that's because players are better and teams are better at dealing, or do you think that that's because of balance changes?
No, they're worse. They're much worse.
Yeah. I think they're worse, but also gameplay changes, like all these early game improvements. You think about all that extra gold, all those free resources of the early game. That helps negate cheese, because cheese is all about like 10 minutes in, the game's over. Or 50, do you know what I mean? Cheese heroes are meant to dominate 10 to 20 minutes and the game's over because some kind of broken matchup and they snowball. Whereas, gameplay changes I feel like could help push back against that. Perhaps, but yeah, also as I said, a bit weaker. Probably.
I mean, Husker's not even near the same level of, because he's got like nowhere near the same amount of magic resist.
Yeah.
It's just regen, so you can burst him until he gets BKB.
Yeah, certainly.
Also with pubs, you've got the picking order change, which doesn't seem that old, but it probably is getting like a fairly old change.
Yeah, no one's ever got absolute last pick in the game. You're always picking blind, at least into one hero. So that does have an impact. Yeah, it's an interesting one to muse on, because I would like to see those heroes a bit more viable, so that they're at least a consideration in drafts, and you might see some like big Huskar battles like we've seen in the past. I remember do you remember, Marco, the Huskar versus IO Gyro hands-off keyboard game? I can't remember who was in that one, but that was a fun one.
Yeah.
A few TIs past. Rubik? Any love for Rubik? Adam's most hated POS 4, or one of the most hated POS 4s. Rubik's a hero that I feel like's been in the meta a lot in the past, but not so hot at the moment. And POS 4 meta in general is in a weird spot, because Earthshaker, again, another hero that's usually huge, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Earthshaker coming back, to be honest.
I'd got like a TI where he's not involved, to be honest. Really? Wouldn't mind.
Think about the dunks.
Yeah, the dunks are cool, I suppose. POS 4 used to be more versatile. You used to see Slardars and Sankings for, now you don't. I'm not even sure what you see for anymore. Like, what a 4 hero is just Nyx Assassin and
Nyx Assassin,
AA Wyvern.
Yeah, it is just AA Wyvern, or like IO. Maybe some Hoodwinks thrown in there as well.
Hoodwinks move.
Yeah, Lion, I suppose, is quite a big 4 at the moment, and Lena sometimes. Yeah. But those sort of core 4s, Slardar, Sanking, don't see them anymore, really. I think Sanking could be a decent 4, really. Ranged stun.
Oof. The range on his stun is abysmal.
Yeah, it's appalling.
It goes up.
You gotta max it, and then you don't have Sandstorm.
How many points in Sandstorm do you really need as a 4, though?
Well, you're gonna go greedy. You're gonna stack your own camps and just farm.
Yeah, POS 3.5.
Then you get the blink, and you don't need to have a long range stun. So maybe that is what you do. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. Any other heroes you want to shout out? I mean, there's plenty of ones I can think of that are sort of on the fringes that I think are quite fun. It's always fun when Shadow Fiend comes out.
I was going to say Night Stalker.
Yeah, I don't want to see Night Stalker, because then he's going to be picked in pubs, and
he is picked in pubs. He's good. He's a pub menace.
He is a pub menace.
That hero's very strong. I think they just are good at playing around daytime, nighttime. But like in nighttime, it's very scary. Very scary to have a flying guy with a huge AoE silence that just turns off so many things.
Yeah. We ready for Techie's meta to come back in? TI 5-star. Techie's back in.
Sad if that was.
I would welcome it.
Oh, really?
Embrace the chaos.
Oh, yikes!
Watch a wyvern, Ags, and like go over the trees. I'm safe here. Runs into a bunch of mines. Like take that. Take that.
Yeah, Techie's is the most anti-Dota hero there is. It's just not a hero. Like, I don't know how it was ever made. In Dota 1, they just must have got drunk one night and just been like, oh yeah, let's slap this hero in. It's just nothing like all the other heroes. It has mines, other mines, and then its ultimate is mines that can stack. That's basically it. It's just mines, mines, and mines. Yeah.
I am looking forward to a Dawnbreaker in Captain's Mode. Hopefully. It's not a certainty that hero will appear.
Yeah.
But just new spice is cool. See how it's played.
I need a pro player to play it one time and show me how to build it. And then that can become meta.
Yeah, can you figure out how to optimize this hero? Thanks.
It's funny though, because pros will spam it when it's added to Captain's Mode. It's funny, they won't touch it until it's added to captain's mode, and then when it is, you would see loads of pros just spamming it. I mean, I suppose it makes sense because captain's mode is that's basically their job, isn't it? But I just think it's funny how that always happens. I know Dota Buff ran an article about Sven, and why isn't Sven in the meta more? Because we see a lot of carries like TA or Medusa, etc., Luna, TB, that you make lots of big stacks for, and then they sort of clear through the jungle at exceptional speed, and Sven should fit the bill, and yet doesn't seem to be picked. And they were sort of posing the question why, and in fact they were of the opinion that the hero was underrated. Thoughts on Sven, Marco, as a carry player? Is it just more kiteable than TB and Luna, ultimately, when you get a big fat Sven, or what's the deal here?
Yeah, I think that comes back to this melee carry issue that I feel is the kite ability, and the Ags, when you're flying through the sky, helps gap close, but still an Aghanims you've got to buy to be able to get your items off. It's got like Blink Stun is a thing, but again, it's like you kill one hero and you're done. It's not like you can stand and fight, because then you will just be kited by items. So it's always going to struggle for that reason, it feels. If you're going to go for some kind of neutral heavy camp stacking strategy, do you want a Sven or just give it to a Deucer? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you'd rather have a hero that says you've got to come at me than a hero that has to find an initiation. Sort of like the pressure's on you, do you know what I mean? When was what level was the talent Stormhammer Dispels? Was that a 20 or a 15?
Oh yeah,
15.
That was annoying.
Do you think Sven could come back in if that talent was added back in as a 20 talent?
No, he's got it as a
Is it a shard?
Yeah.
Oh, so you got it as a shard, Stormhammer Dispels. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough. I mean, that is one of the most, like, BS things
that was
ever.
busted.
When that was a 15 talent, that was absolutely ridiculous. You'd like Yules or Ghost Scepter, and it's just, nope. Sorry. Yeah, I'm glad that's gone, I suppose. Or I'm glad it costs 1,400 gold now, at least. So. Any heroes you definitely don't want to see come back? Or you're worried will come back, always seem to be in for TI, and that you want to avoid it?
Batrider always is at TI. Batrider and Earthshaker, but
yeah, Bats always seems to be there.
Those don't bother me. They're just always there.
Yeah. Invoker seems like maybe one of the strongest heroes in the game at the moment, in pro scene. It's definitely first phase banned against people that have Invoker specialists. I mean, Nigma aren't at TI, I suppose, but it's first phase banned against them all the time. Topson rarely gets it, and other teams that have good Invoker players, I think, will definitely be looking to play this Quasvex Invoker. So, I don't mind that so much, because then if more people try and play Invoker in pubs, they're going to be terrible at it. So maybe that's just free MMR, if Invoker is the strong hero.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if that hero was removed for pressing ceremonial reasons before TI.
You could say it gets removed because it's doing some kind of makeover before next season of the anime.
Yeah. Or just nerf it. Give it a hefty nerf, like removing Wex. So it's just cost exort and you never level Wex. Don't get anything. Yeah. Or do you reckon get Enigma back in for TI? Some black holes for the fans.
Enigma's always fun.
Yeah. Anything else want to shout out here before we wrap it up? Any like meta reflections or meta hopes maybe that aren't to do with heroes?
Give me a new item before TI.
Core, really mix it up. That'd be pretty funky. Or just keep removing items. They start with Necrobook and they just get rid of an item. Just go,
they get rid of
slash and burn.
Iron Branch.
Yeah, rip Magic Stick. You can't get it anymore. Yeah, that would be funny. Alright.
Last thing from me, if they make I was just thinking about how you've got Aghanim Scepters and Aghanim Shards. They make a third kind of consumable random bullshit thing. I will.
Aghanim's head. Aghanim's like bracelet or something.
Yeah.
Aghanim's pommel. It becomes like a part, another part of the sword. Aghanim's handle. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it
It's only
drops
a
to
matter
the
of time.
first Roche, and it costs 700.
Oh my god, I would be done.
Yeah. How about a Nemesis meteorite that drops in the middle of mid every 4 minutes? That'd be pretty hype.
Hey, what was the name of that neutral item that got removed? It was like a bottle that gave you like a little bit of
The
like 3 charges, but it was like giga.
Yeah,
good.
that was the dumbest stuff ever. What was that? I can't remember what that was called. Damn, I'd forgotten that was
jelly.
even in the game. No, not jelly.
No, not jelly. I would
Not
love
jelly.
to have jelly back.
What was it called? Oh, I can't remember now. What was it called?
Let me look it up.
God. Yeah, you're gonna have
3
to look it up.
charges.
Yeah, it was like a mega bottle. It was insane. I also remember repair kit. I'm super glad that that's gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Repair
god.
kit was ridiculous.
Okay, removed. Elixir.
Elixir. God. Great times.
Craggy coat. Remember Craggy coat? Clumsy net. Man.
Oh, Craggy. Wasn't that the one that reduced your attack speed by a ton?
Yeah, it gave you a ton of armor. So, yeah, it replaced 500 health and 250 mana over 6 seconds, and it had 3 charges.
Man, Clumsy Net, that was the OP one. Clumsy Net back in the day. That was sick.
Greater Fairy Fire. Man,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that have been.
Helm of the Undying, just 6 armor. Let's go. Tier 2 or something? Wasn't that like the most OP one ever? Or like very, very
that
OP?
one didn't last very long. He just came back to life.
Another one that didn't last long at all was the Tome of Aghanim. You know, it gives you the Aghanim set to upgrade for a while.
Yeah.
That was pretty, like, the weird, most gimmicky thing ever.
But
Yeah.
now you just can buy it yourself. Or, have your own Ags upgrade. Consumable.
Yeah. Too easy. Well, there you go. Gabe, if you're listening, just get in contact. We'll tell you what to do. Add a Nemesis Meteorite, a new item, get Jelly and Tome of Aghanim and Elixir back in the game, ready for TI, freak out some teams, and then you've got a spectator event right there. So, that's episode 150. Join us again next week for another uninteresting number, 151. And until then,
Landmark 151 prime number episode.
yeah, huge ep. But yeah, until then, have a final whistle.